Well, folks, we've officially reached the frothy bottom of this bull market rally where virtually everyone is uncertain and fear is at an all-time high. Sentiment is terrible, and although we have long awaited the bullish months of February and March, we've actually been stuck in a range for over 3 months now, and many people are beginning to believe this is the beginning of the end. The bull market is over. Market manipulation is in full swing. And if this is a case of true market manipulation, shouldn't someone be going to jail for this? And that's not all. We have cases of manipulation from some very big personalities. Someone apparently bought Kanye West's X account and is now trying to shill a meme coin. We have presidents shilling scam coins. We have the biggest hack ever at $1.5 billion from a North Korean hacking group called Lazarus, which has sent markets flying south. And apparently even a meme coiner has unalived themselves. This is in all just 7 days, and many people believe this is max pain. So we're going to be covering if this is the right time to sell or whether it's the perfect time to pick up your favorite cryptos at a discount, as XRP has been dumping with the rest of the market. And many people believe this is also because President Trump recently said that he's going to follow through with the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico now. And many people are worried this is going to hurt our economy. And that's not all. Upon all of the FUD, we have Binance now selling but that's not all. The FUD goes deeper, as now Binance is selling massive amounts of Ethereum in the last few hours. Whether they know something we don't or not, markets are really starting to hurt. So we'll be diving into the charts, looking at a few on-chain analytics, and then diving into whether or not this is really the local bottom or it's something to be worried about for a deeper move to the downside. Now, as always, even if you're feeling not so bullish, you can still feel blessed. I hope you do. So if you are, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, smash the subscribe button. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and you can find me on Twitter or X at PauliDeFi, PauliDeFi. And just today, XRP dumped all the way from essentially $2.60 for a 13% drop to $2.26, back to its previous range and local lows that it made back on February 7th of this year. And this is starting to scare a lot of folks, as the patterns and the charts really ain't looking too hot. We've held for quite some time, and like I mentioned at the start of this video, it's been a period of almost 90 days, and the market really hasn't done much of anything. Typically in these months, we start to see some rallies. We really see strong rallies from November through December, which we did see. However, we do expect the market to continue rallying, and so far things have been looking pretty frothy, as Bitcoin has also struggled and failed to break out. Although I will add that XRP looks relatively strong to Bitcoin, especially if I drag the chart all the way to the previous range high over here, pull up a chart of Bitcoin, and then I go ahead and put it on a percentage based scale. You can see that XRP, in terms of the actual price action candlesticks, has consistently rallied harder than Bitcoin, while Bitcoin has ranged in the same sideways moving price action that we've seen. In terms of the recent dump, Bitcoin has dumped a little bit less, but that's obvious because right now there's more institutional money in Bitcoin, and obviously that's proven with the total market cap of Bitcoin and the fact that it does have ETFs, something that we're waiting on for XRP. But generally speaking, since the local lows, XRP has far outperformed Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only up about 23 to 24%, while XRP is still up 350%. So XRP is by far the better relative performer, and something that I'd rather add a position to, considering the major or the potential upside is far greater. But the real question is, what's going on? Are markets being manipulated, and should you be worried? Well, let's look at some of the news. Now, we're going to dive into the crypto news, but crypto is typically pretty dependent on the traditional financial market. And Trump recently announced something that will scare a lot of folks in the markets, which is why I believe markets are currently struggling as of today. Let's go ahead and have a listen.
We're on time with the tariffs, and it seems like that's moving along very rapidly. We've been mistreated very badly by many countries, not just Canada and Mexico. We've been taken advantage of. We were led by, in some cases, fools, because anybody that would sign documents like they signed, where they were able to take advantage of the American people, like has happened over the last long period of time, except for a little 4-year period that took place 4 years ago. But anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No, the tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen. I mean, you know, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything. Every aspect that you can imagine, they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again.
And it's not just that, as Lazarus Group, a North Korean hacking group, probably one that you've already heard some news about, stole about $1.5 billion in the largest hack in history from Bybit. And yes, Bybit has already got the money back, not directly from them, but has taken on loans in order to secure their exchange and make sure there's not a bank run and try to stabilize markets. However, things aren't looking too good, as these guys are actually really good at social engineering and obviously hacking. They pulled off the largest heist in history and have consistently been moving that Ethereum through all sorts of rotators, through different exchanges and then blockchains, and then figuring out ways to launder the money so you can't track it on chain, and then pause the Ethereum chain, which would truly mean that it's not totally decentralized. At which point people would argue that is a major issue with Ethereum, and this is causing a lot of panic in the markets. To combine that with tariffs, and then combine that with the meme coin craze that has consistently been sucking liquidity out of the market, when you have players like Dave Portnoy also launching meme coin after meme coin after meme coin and just rugging everyone. Markets have absolutely had it. And yes, even good cryptos like XRP are apparently in price manipulation, which is on overdrive, according to many people online. They believe and have seen massive sell walls, coordinated suppression, and ultimately this is to scare you out of your bags. This is to get you to sell your crypto bag at a discount before the major rally occurs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the futures trading data to see where the average day trader on leverage is placing their positions. And as you can see directly on Binance, the Bitcoin pair, from a daily time frame, the majority of people are actually short or selling the market. And you can see it based on this big old cliff and green line. You see how much bigger this side is relative to this side? This means that all of these people would be liquidated if the price goes up, which means they are essentially short. It is counterintuitive because it looks green. However, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and as you can see here, we have the XRP. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Binance, OKX, and Bybit and focus solely on the green line and the red line. And so if the price dumps to 201, you can see that only $40 million of traders will be liquidated, whereas on the short side, $410 million will be liquidated. We have a 10x cliff if the price hits $2.77. So the majority of traders right now are short, and that's what's caused the market to dump. You could argue maybe it's not more traders, maybe it's whales. We'd actually have to look at that data, but since you and I don't have access to that data, all we know is that bigger players with a lot of money, $410 million worth, are shorting the crap out of XRP, which leads me to believe they want the price to dump while they accumulate. So we're going to go ahead and look at accumulation right now on Bitcoin and XRP to see if we can get a better picture. And so first we have Bitcoin. And as you can see here, back on March 13th of 2024, Bitcoin hit its all-time high of $73,000 before rallying all the way up to about $107,000 to $109,000, depending on the exchange and how you read the daily chart. But ultimately, since that point in time, there's been less and less and less Bitcoin available on exchanges. And that's denoted by this purple line. The more that it declines, the more that you see that there's institutional demand and people ripping it off exchanges to hold it on cold storage wallets, whether it's with a custodian or with themselves for the long term. So even on this dump, you can see that more and more Bitcoin is leaving exchanges, and we are essentially at new lows for the year, which leads me to believe that they're spending a lot of money shorting the crap out of the market while they get the price down, buy up your bags, and then withdraw it from exchanges because they know what's coming. Yes, they want to buy at a discount. Yes, they want you to sell their bags. And this chart proves it to me right now. And it looks like the same is true for XRP. Up here we have the all-time high of 340, and you can see since that point in time, more and more people were depositing XRP onto exchanges, sold into that high right here, and then what they did was started to accumulate. And they accumulated and accumulated, and they've continued to accumulate, which is why this purple line is continuing to decline and remain flat. So yes, they are not actually selling their bags or depositing onto exchanges. If anything, they're actually using leverage in the futures market to make the market crash, while you and I sell our bags to them at a discount and then withdraw, but it doesn't look like they're actually depositing these cryptos onto the exchanges in order to sell. And so I would argue, yes, there is some manipulation, but that's just a natural response of the market. This is exactly how markets work, even in the big leagues. So to me, it's not shocking or surprising, but what were those major events that we talked about earlier, especially the Lazarus Group, which has caused a lot of panic. But I would have argued that that would have actually made the market sell off a lot harder than they normally would, especially in a bear market. So in a bull market, as long as we hold our ranges, things are actually looking a lot better than I would have expected. So the real question you might have is today's dump something you should actually be worrying about? Well, first and foremost, this type of price action doesn't look too good, considering the fact that we currently have, and I'll go ahead and draw it, our all-time high here and then a lower high right here. However, generally speaking, the trend is still up. And so yes, we are currently breaking down from this range right here, especially if the market closes in about an hour, or the daily time frame, I should say, closes in about an hour at this range. The last line of support would be this $2.30 range. Considering if I pull up that VRVP for a visible range volume profile, the majority of the volume is actually being traded right here, and I'll go ahead and put a box. So from here to here is where the majority of the volume is traded, and as you can see here, we are actually being supported there even with these insane amount of shorts. What leads me to believe though that I'd want to buy into this dump, even though it was unexpected and even though we're not happy with it, unless of course you're sitting on a lot of dry powder. Ultimately, this is a good time to start to accumulate because I'm not seeing a lot of deposits of the actual spot underlying assets on exchanges. Again, that leads me to believe that they're shorting it with leverage on futures markets, causing the market to dump. However, they're not actually selling a boatload of their spot bags, especially when we have a support like this right here where it's currently chilling in that range. So from a 4-hour time frame, yes, we did see volume pick up like this to the sell side, but relatively speaking, and I'll go ahead and go back to that daily time frame, you can see that volume has consistently declined since these highs over here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line right here. And then I'll do another couple lines on these major buy days, and we'll just look at where those are. But generally speaking, volume has consistently been declining through this range with a few major capitulation days. I actually like to see these types of capitulation days into declining volume in a major uptrend, because this actually leads me to believe we're extremely close to a bottom. And I've seen this type of price action happen a lot in my lifetime before. And as you can see here, 1, 2, and even 3 on that major buy day. So I'll go ahead and remove that line. line, you can see we had that huge wick. So that's an absolute given. Our actual support would be right here between $2.40 all the way to $2.25. So if we break below this range, things are not looking good for XRP, considering we have a series of a lower high here from the previous all-time high. If we're supported here and we start to get some price action back to the upside above the $2.44 to 45 cent range, then I'm going to be pretty happy. And I would actually argue that this is our local bottom before the price action starts to pick back up to the $3.10 range. So although it didn't happen sooner, you do have to remember that from that all-time high, it's only been about 38 days. The last time we went for an all-time high and a breakout from the previous all-time high, it was about 43 days. So we're getting really close to a range where this thing either needs to pick up or break down. But this is not something that I really want to sell into, even with all these short sellers. And yes, the short sellers are looking really strong, and we just saw the price break down actually just a second ago pretty hard. Right here on that 15 minutes, you're seeing it go from 235 all the way back down to 225. But again, when I see price action like this, I don't typically want to sell right into it. I want to wait for it to chill out, cool off through that daily close and see what happens into the next day, or at least at the start of the session, which is going to happen here very soon, probably by the time you're watching this video. In terms of my time, that's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Eastern Time, that would be 7 p.m. Eastern Time for a daily close on the Universal Time. That said, this is something that many people will panic over, sell their bags, and we might actually see the market rally and pick right back up. So that's it for the video, folks. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also head on over to bullrunners.com to check out Altcoin Pro University, where we have about 11 to 1,200 paying members that are committed to becoming crypto millionaires or doing extremely well in their crypto journey. This is one of the best communities with all the right tools, training, and resources to help you reach your crypto goals. And we offer everything you could possibly think of, from classes to online live calls that cover technical analysis, fundamental analysis. By the way, on the 4th of March, I'm going to be starting up my series of live calls for this community and this community solely. This is stuff that I will not cover on the channel. We also have pros that share all sorts of altcoin picks and really cool DeFi yield opportunities. The opportunities in this platform or in this community at Altcoin Pro are absolutely endless. And here's a 26-minute video that explains everything that you get on the other side. And what's so beautiful is our pros are constantly sharing an insane amount of value that you'll only get in here. So for example, Altcoin Pro University library features all sorts of stuff like how to navigate and start inside of here, strategies and guides, from crypto research tools to addressing investment questions on when to buy, when to sell, risk management, 2025 tax changes, managing your losses, your how-tos like staying organized, emergencies and estate plans, psychology, the dangers, narratives, and more. So the value is endless, and all sorts of people inside of this community are not only very active, but winning consistently. So again, we cannot guarantee you're going to be a millionaire, but if that's your goal, then we can likely help you to achieve it if you double down on yourself, put in enough capital, and really work hard at this thing. So thanks so much for watching the video, my friend. I hope to see you on Bull Runners and at Altcoin Pro University. Until next time, goodbye.